So, morning. This is Alan at Baja Overlanding, and we've been on a trip down to Cabo Pulmo and back. And unfortunately, our last few days, the weather changed cold and windy, so we abandoned our trip and headed up to Mulegé for a couple of nights. So, since I'm here, I decided to do a little video on what there is in Mulegé for accommodation and such. When you drive all the way down the end of the road coming through town, you get to the ocean down here, and there are some free camping spots down here, little palapas. It's nothing special, but if you're just in a van or something and want to spend a night, it's all free. When it's open, there's a little restaurant over on the corner there, so you've got a little bit of a facility. Not a great place to camp if it's windy, but on a nice sunny day, it's quite nice. So our first stop is one of the campsites, La Huerta, and we thought we'd check that out. I know a lot of people on Overlanding like to free camp, but every now and then people like a campsite with a shower and just something for a rest. So we're going to have a look at the different campsites and a couple of the hotels, so at least you know what's down here in Mulegé. One of the first things you see in Mulegé is the waterfront. The river, when it's calm, is just amazing. But when it rains, this is all underwater along here. So this is the RV camp that's down right at the end of town, down near the ocean, pretty close to it. And it's a small little campsite that I've heard a lot about, so we'll wander in and have a look. Just as you drive in, the office is on your left here, and we'll check on the prices. It's very clean, it's very green, lots of vegetation. So the little spots are all separated with trees. So here's an empty spot we'll have a quick look at. So they're quite large. Each one gets a palapa. There's power, looks like water. Off to the left there's the same thing. So over the back there are bathrooms. You're actually camping on grass, which is very nice and quite a change for Baja. So no, this one is a very highly recommended campsite. So here's their little price sheet. So about $20 a night for a motorhome. So their prices here are not too bad. They have 10 spots for camping trucks or small sprinter vans, and I will put a link in the description for their phone number and a Google Maps link, but very easy to find if you search Google Maps for campsites in Mulegé. So again, just walk out the door and this is the view you get. So we're parked down underneath the main highway bridge, and I've seen photos of the water 6 foot below that bridge. So it's just an amazing amount of water comes down here when it rains. This little bridge in the bottom here has been washed out several times, but apparently they rebuilt it because it helps the local traffic. So there's a little RV park right here, so we might run in and have a look at that and see what it looks like. So the road into this little camp under the bridge looks a little sketchy, but we'll go in and have a look. So this little campsite down under the bridge here is actually quite cute. It's right on the river. It's apparently about 200 pesos a night. It's all grass, so you just come in here, find a spot. It seems to be popular with the bicycle crowd, and set up, and then there's an old couple live up the back here that will come down and ask for money. There are some toilets and showers up there, so it has facilities. So we have a little square downtown with some restaurants and stores around it. There always seems to be a little bit of parking here, so we've come in here several times to park. The road coming up from the river has a lot of restaurants and some bars on it, so it's area down in the square is probably the most touristy area. Now, this is one way coming down, and there's no signs to tell you, so you just have to watch the parking on the cars to tell you which way to drive in these streets. Very narrow. Right here on the left hand side after you drive in is the Hotel Mulegé, and we're going to have a look at that. I've always wanted to stay here. It's very convenient to town. You would have no trouble walking to all the stores. Seems to have a large amount of parking as we come through into the back here. So secure, gated. They have big gates on the doors here, so I'm assuming they close those at night. And you've got parking. You could turn a rig around with a trailer. Quite a few rooms on 2 stories. So I just checked in at the hotel there. They have 17 rooms. They are 1,000 pesos, so that's $50, and very friendly. Do not speak English, but I will post up all the information for reservations in the links below. And definitely a great place to stay. It's convenient, and it's had good safe parking, so I'll definitely be using this in the future when we bring a group down here. We're crossing the Mulegé River about a quarter mile from town, and this is all there is. So when it's dry season, there is no water in this river. When it's wet season, it can be about 20 foot deep here. You can see up in the trees, especially over there, how high the river was with all the debris pushed against the other trees. So definitely can change in here. At the moment it's just a dry dirt road. Anyhow, so here is the mission at Mulegé, and it is open today, so we're going to go in and have a look, check the place out, and show you around. Many people we talked to who've come here have said that the mission was all locked up when they came, so I think it was a typical Spanish mission. It's got the curved roof, long skinny hall, and the altar at the end. So they don't change much, but the only church or mission I've seen that's different is the Eiffel one in Santa Rosalia. What is nice about this mission, it's up on the hill just above the river. It overlooks town down here. It's way above the flood line, so it's never had any damage from flooding. Just showing a little damage from age. For a several hundred-year-old mission, it's in pretty good shape. So once we got to this point, the wind was so bad I couldn't record, so this is why we're doing a little voiceover. We went and had a look at this hotel, the Cresta Real, and initially I thought the hotel had been abandoned, but once we got down and had a little bit of a look, we saw the pool was empty and looked like full of trash, and the place did not look that nice. But we ran into the caretaker, and she said the hotel was open, all the rooms were usable, so she showed us around, and it's a very basic hotel. They want $40 a night, and it would be like a last resort, but since there's so few hotels in town, it is an option if you were really desperate. So this is the place where the guy told us they just pull all the windows and remove everything, and the flood just storms through. If you get the chance to come down in here and have a drink, if it's open, he had photographs on the wall that showed the flood different levels, and there were several of them that showed it just below the bottom of the bridge. So he said it gets up to the roof of this building. So the last campsite we can find is the Villa Maria, and we have been in here before and it's actually pretty nice. So let's go down and have a look at it and we'll see. The no hookups camping is fairly small. There's a little broken down palapa there with a slot, another slot, third slot, little hammock area, some grass, and I'm actually standing on another slot you could park in right here. So it's definitely not a large campsite if you just want to park up and be self-sufficient. If you have a pull-through van or a sprinter van or something, there is half a dozen good little pull-through sites over here. It looks like a few people have set up themselves for the whole season down here. So we'll wander through and have a look. You can see the slots, they're fairly close but level, tidy. There's a small little restaurant here, so you can just get a little bit of food. So I'm going to go up and see how much this campsite costs. There next to the office is the bathrooms, and they were clean and tidy. So it must be siesta time as nobody was around. But you can actually go online, call the place, get rates. I think it was about $50 a night for the pull-throughs and $20 for the no service parking. So it's not outlandishly expensive. But this, the little campsite down on the river and the Huerta over on the way out of town towards the beach were the only 3 campsites I can find that are opened. So you don't have a lot of options. Definitely the La Huerta is the one. That's the most attractive, nice grassy campsite. So that's where we'll be staying on our next trip through here. As you leave Mulegé heading south, on the right, just past the campground, Maria, there is a ironwood shop that sells this carved wood. And we've had some friends buy some amazing pieces here. They do it all here. You can actually get custom work, but it takes forever to do. So he has a small little shop, sells a lot of dolphins, whales. Our friends bought a whale and it was really well made. So just something a little different. It's local, it's made here, you're supporting the craftsman, so he's not buying it out of some store. So the last hotel to look at in Mulegé is Serenidad, and it's about a mile out of town, down next to a little airport runway strip. And this was once probably a very, very high-end hotel, but it's old and it's weathered, but it's still quite a decent hotel. So let's have a look through the place. As you drive in the parking lot, there looks like 7 RV slots. They are full hookups. So if you have a large RV, it is a place close to town to park. So the office is right here as you come in from the parking lot. So as you walk into the hotel, the office is on your left, and there's the large dining room for the meals. They do breakfast and dinner. I've had both and they're both quite reasonable. This little room over here has the morning coffee. You can just go in and grab a cup yourself, but you do have to pay for it. They have a beautiful fire pit that we were sitting around last night. It was very pleasurable. And then off to the right here is their bar. So they have a full bar with their bartender and everything you need for a fun-filled evening. And if we go outside, they have a pool area. And I'm assuming in the summer when it's warm, this would be amazing. But I've never been here when the water wasn't like ice. So, the rooms, there's quite a few of them. There's a pile around the pool here. There's some up the front past the office, and then there's more down the back we'll go look at. Nearly all the rooms have names instead of numbers, and this is our room. Very basic bathroom, 2 beds, $95, so it's definitely not a cheap hotel. And as you come out the back, there are even more rooms. There's secured parking in the back here. There's our rig, all ready for the next trip. The wind is going to be a bit loud here. This is the brewery. It has some outside seating in the good weather. They have a stand, so I'm assuming at some time they have music, live bands, and there's miles of parking out front, so that was really handy. So we'll go check the place out. So here's the brewery. A nice bar, plenty of tables, and as you can see through the window here, they do all their own brewing in-house. So you know you're getting the real stuff. So we're going to enjoy a beer and some lunch. So just to the north of the brewery is this new building and kilometer 128 road cafe, bar and restaurant, and another really nice little place to come and have some lunch. If you're heading down to Loretto and you wanted to stop, it has a full bar. My only complaint would be it has this big roll-up door and the wind is blowing in today and it's a little cool. But beyond that, definitely a place you could consider stopping to have a nice lunch. Well, hopefully we showed a few people some of the places in Mulegé to visit, places to eat, and have a drink, hotels, campsites. I think there are some other smaller hotels and maybe a couple of smaller campsites like out at the winery, but that's all that was open the day we looked around. So hopefully this is of help and you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot, and maybe hit subscribe, and that would be nice. Thank you.